Hey, well, good Monday morning to everybody. Hello, Brad here. I'm gonna get test. I gotta check something. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna turn a few things down. Looks like it's going a little bit crazy loud. Hold on. Stand by. I don't know why it's going so loud. I'll turn it. Whoa, man. My gracious, folks. I don't know why it's so loud. They're pegging it out. Let's try that. No? No? That's weird. Is it like super loud for you guys here? Can you hold on? I'm looking at the. Shoot. Let me see what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here. Is it super loud, guys? Because my levels are like just pegging loud. Let me check something. I figured it out. That should sound a little better. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I was in a box. You know why? Because the sound was coming off the camera instead of my really nice mixer and microphone. Here, and now the camera's messing up. Boy, oh boy. It's going to be one of those things. I guess we're just going to have to plow through. So here we go. Let's try again. And you mark here, we're going to try from the beginning again. We're going to go. Hey, well, good morning, everybody. Good Monday morning to you all. Brad here with the Big Family Homestead. I hope that's better. All right. I hope that's better. Okay. So good morning. I hope you're having a blessed day / afternoon / evening, whenever you are watching this Bible devotion. We're going to be doing a study in Esther. We are in chapter 6, and oh my gracious, let me tell you what, the tale thickens. Oh, Haman, I can't wait till you see what happens. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Got to be honest. So that said, we are going to read chapter 6, then we're going to unpack it, and then we're going to pray and have a good day. The way this works, if you're new here, we love it when you guys interact. We love it when you chat with each other, but please stay on topic because it's just distracting, and we all get more out of the devotion if you don't go off into other topics because, well, that's why you're here, I hope. If you want to chat, then I leave the chat open before the chat and before the devotion and after the devotion. So if you want to chat then. All right, so yay. Let's see who's here, and I'll scroll to the top and see who's here this morning. Good morning to Pepper, Leah, Danny Thrive, Deborah, Alicia. Good morning to Faith and Family, Cheryl, Patricia, Tanya, A, Martha. Good morning to Pepper, Leah, Playing with Jen, Faith and Family, Gray Sky. Good morning to Deborah, Eileen, Dan Schneider, Sally H, Kathy O, Meg, S, Nigren. Good morning to you. Good morning to Becky and, of course, Jess. Good morning to the Ware family, Southern Prairie Homestead. Jesus is Lord. Good morning to Monica Sherman, Mary Taylor, Heidi, the Happy Meat Farm Rios, Ashley, Jesus is Lord, Meg, and many, many more. I don't have coffee this morning. It was kind of hurting my throat a little bit. I don't know why. Anyway, doesn't matter. Good morning. Clink. Good morning to you all. That's darn tasty water. All right. Let's go ahead and read chapter 6. And then we're going to unpack it. So, my glasses are working right. We should do well. On your mark, get set. Oh man, you guys are going to love this. If you've never read this account of Esther, this is really, really awesome and funny. So, anyway, it's funny and terrible and tragic and all of those things. Anyway, here we go. Chapter 6. On that night, the king could not sleep, and he gave orders to bring the book of memorable deeds, the Chronicles, and they were read before the king. And it was found written how Mordecai had told about Bigthana and Teresh, the two of the king's eunuchs who guarded the threshold, who had sought to lay hands on King Xerxes. And the king said, "What honor or distinction has been bestowed on Mordecai for this?" The king's young men who attended him said, "Nothing has been done for him." My. And the king said, "Who is in the court?" Now Haman had just entered the court outside of the king's palace to speak to the king about having Mordecai hanged on the gallows that he prepared for him. And the king's young men told him, Haman's there, standing in the court. And the king said, "Let him come in." So Haman came in, and the king said to him, "What should be done for the man whom the king delights to honor?" Isn't this great? And Haman said to himself, "Whom would the king delight to honor more than me?" And Haman said to the king, "For the man whom the king delights to honor, let royal robes be brought, which the king has worn, and the horse that the king has ridden, and on whose head a royal crown is set. And let the robes and the horse be handed over to one of the king's most noble officials. Let them dress the man whom the king delights to honor, and let them lead him on the horse through the square of the city, proclaiming before him, 'Thus shall it be done for the man whom the king delights to honor.'" Then the king said to Haman, "Hurry, take the robes and the horse, as you have said, do so to Mordecai the Jew, who sits at the king's gate. Leave out nothing that you have mentioned." So Haman took the robes and the horse, and he dressed Mordecai and led him through the square of the city, proclaiming before him, "Thus shall it be before the man whom the king delights to honor." Then Mordecai returned to the king's gate. But Haman hurried to his house, mourning, and with his head covered. And Haman told his wife Zeresh and all his friends everything that had happened to him. Then his wise men and his wife Zeresh said to him, "If Mordecai, before whom you have begun to fall, is of the Jewish people, you will not overcome him, but will surely fall before him." While they were yet talking with him, the king's eunuchs arrived and hurried to bring Haman to the feast that Esther had prepared. The end of chapter 6. Oh, isn't it just getting delicious? My gracious people. Whoa, turn of events. Okay, let's unpack this a little bit. All right, first of all, verse 1, on that night the king could not sleep. Boy, oh boy, doesn't that sound like something that God would do? Hey, King Xerxes, remember that guy, Mordecai? Remember him? He saved your life. Remember him? What did we do for him? What did you do for him? That's what it says here. He couldn't sleep, so he gave orders to bring the book of memorable deeds. The chronicles were read before him, and was found written how Mordecai saved his life, basically. So, wow. So God kept him awake, gave him a little bit of insomnia, and they thought to himself, you know what? Life's good. Why don't you bring out the book of memorable deeds? Let's talk about some of the good stuff that has happened here recently. And then Mordecai is brought up. Saved your life. Oh, perfect. You know what? This is a great opportunity to honor him. How could we honor him? Hey, Haman, get your butt in here. Come on. Right? Oh, boy. What was done for him? And then it says in verse 3, then the king's young men who attended him said, nothing has been done for him. And then, who is in the court? Just so happens that Haman's in the court. Don't forget, if you forgot, Haman's already built gallows to have Mordecai hung on it the next morning. He was coming. Haman, the only reason why Haman was there was to ask the king to kill Mordecai. Probably not the best time to ask now, huh? Might not go over so well. So here's one thing that actually, it's funny because we get together with some friends to do a little Bible devotion and food and fellowship kind of get together. We do it a few times a month. And the thing that stuck out to me was right here in this account. Okay, keep this in mind. Okay, so by the way, you can yay or boo Mordecai as we're talking in the unpacking. You don't have to, but you can if you want. So this is what's amazing to me. Mordecai, he did the right thing. He overheard what was going on, and he overheard that those two servants were wanting to kill the king. So what did he do? He did the right thing. He went and turned him in, saved the king's life. Okay? Now, he didn't go to the king and demand something or ask for anything or even remind him of, hey, look at what I did for you. He didn't. He didn't seek his own gain in this. He did the right thing. Why? Because it was the right thing to do. Not because he was going to get some gain. Now, part two interesting thing of this account. We don't really know how much time elapsed between those guys planning to kill the king and this moment, but we can guess that it had to be at least a while. I mean, there's time goes on, and Esther had been put over there in her castle place because the king and they didn't stay in the same palace. They would get together as air quotes as needed. but the point is, we don't know how long it took, but obviously it took a while because he was written in a book of memorable deeds, the chronicles that were read before the king. So it had to be a while. We don't know how long. And so comes back to mind the king remembers Mordecai. All right, now, so here's what's crazy about this. Not only did Mordecai not seek personal gain for doing the right thing, he didn't think anything of it. He didn't think anything of it. So now what you have is the king's going, oh yeah, boy, that was awesome of him. I can't believe what did we do? We didn't do anything for him? Oh, you got to be kidding me. And then it's brought before him. Now here's kind of the point. How many times do we do a thing and we kind of expect something good to happen back? Well, I turned in that wallet I found, and there was a lot. I could see the money sticking out of it. I didn't count it, but I turned that wallet in, and I could have just acted like nothing happened. And well, where's my blessing now? I just gave back all those credit cards and that wallet. And I mean, how many times do we do a thing? Maybe not intentionally to get gain, but then think, surely God's going to bless me. Surely God's going to bless me. I mean, look at what I did. That was pretty good. Hold on. Excuse me, guys. Good job, Brad. And you think, well, surely God's going to bless me for that. Right? And in this case, he doesn't. And you know what we see from Mordecai? Nothing. He did it because it was the right thing to do. And that is an attitude that we should have far more often. Now, in this case, God was saying, hold on, wait a minute. I got the perfect, guys, angels, come here. Check this out. Yeah, Michael, come here. I've got the perfect setup. Watch this. You know? And so he keeps King Xerxes awake. Xerxes is like, wait a minute. Perfect. Who's in court? Haman's in the court? Great. And Haman's thinking, I'm going to stroll on in here and ask him to kill Mordecai. Whoopsie. Don't want to talk about bad timing. And then isn't it just beautiful how full of himself that that Haman is? And Haman said to himself, whom would the king delight to honor more than me? Wow. Now, this is only part one of all the bad stuff coming Haman's way, right? Because not only he's like, well, you know what? Get some robes. Let everybody think he's royalty. You know what? Get the king's horse. You know what? Get the king's horse. And you know what else we need? We need a crier. We need somebody to go in front of this guy and shout out to the whole city how awesome and blessed he is by the king. Xerxes goes, perfect. Do it. Oh, man. Talk about filling up your tunic. I'm sure that Haman did. And then he has to go throughout the city, parading Mordecai around, telling everybody how great he is. But it doesn't end there, right? It does not end there. This is where it gets kind of, I don't know, prophetic, maybe even in a way. Let's read verse 13 through 14. And Haman told his wife Zeresh and all his friends, so there's a lot of people there, everything that happened to him. Then his wise men, that's an interesting point. So not only he's got friends and his wise men. And his wife Zeresh said to him, okay, if Mordecai, before whom you have begun to fall, is of the Jewish people, you will not overcome him, but will surely fall before him. Okay, couple little things in there. Now, if this guy has this amount of crew around him, including wise men, that's kind of like a soft way of saying he's really in the upper echelon, because wise men were something of a luxury that only kings could afford. So you got to wonder, is this newly acquired wise men? You know what I mean? Is this something that, well, surely I'm going to be that big of a deal soon, so I need to get me some wise men. It's typically the kind of thing that basically kings would have, or only the uber wealthy. And maybe he was uber wealthy. He must have been high up on the food chain. It doesn't say how high, but he was up there among the officials, right? But now what's crazy is that his wise men and even his wife sense there is bad coming your way, right? They're saying, if Mordecai, before whom you have begun to fall, you've already begun to fall, is of the Jewish people, which he is, and they know it, you will not overcome him, but will surely fall before him. So, even they know it. It's like, put your finger in the air. Can you feel the way the wind is blowing? Because guess what? Things are coming bad for you. They had no idea how bad. And then while they were yet talking to him, the king's eunuchs arrived and hurried to bring Haman to the feast that Esther had prepared. Now, if you don't remember, this is the feast that Esther was going to risk her own life to request the lives of her people and the entire Jewish nation, because the king didn't realize really the trap that Mordecai had set. The letters are already out there. The letters to execute these people are already out there, but the king, he's so checked out. He's a party boy. He's so checked out, he doesn't even know really what he signed. He just signed it. He agreed to it, whatever, right? So, talk about an evil woman. Yeah, she's, I'll bet you she's already looking for the next bigger, better deal. She seems that kind of way, right? Okay, so those are the notes I have. Let me see about comments you have. Let me see. Haman is about to step in it. That is right. Ain't that the truth? Meg says, I don't remember the number, but it's in Corinthians. Don't tell anyone of your good deeds. Let God see them. Yeah, don't let your right hand see what your left hand's doing, kind of thing. Yeah. Yep. Hence 3 wise men visiting the King of Kings. Yeah, okay. Haman's groupies were like most, just acquire to sing his praises, but never suggest his errors. Yep. Talk about an evil woman, Haman's wife. Yeah. Delaney B says Matthew 22 or 23, 11 through 12. The greatest among you shall be your servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Keeps echoing in my mind. Good point. Think about this. Where was Mordecai throughout all this? He was in mourning and weeping. He dared not enter the king's area, but he was as close as you could get. Right? He was right there. Bulletproof says, hey, Haman, hear that? It's the workers finishing up the details on the gallows that you built, that you ordered to have built. Yeah. What a contrast of character between Esther and Haman. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So tomorrow is going to be another good chapter. Any other additions to the conversation here this morning? Sorry about the audio. I figured it out too late, but at least I figured it out. I'll pause for a sec here. Oh, hey, I figure I'd give you an update on the copyright claim once we're done with the chat. The copyright claim on the channel. But if we're done with the chat, I'll wait and see. This should be an example of how to act all through our lives. I would agree. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, if you guys don't know, there was a copyright claim made on this channel. And bottom line is, it's music that I wrote, I thought up, I recorded. There is no copyright infringement. Somebody made a claim saying that it was theirs because they do this to try to steal royalties from your channel. And all they do is they say, hey, YouTube, they took my song. But it's not. It's my song. I wrote it. I record it. Okay? And YouTube goes, hey, it's not my problem. You guys figure it out. But the problem is this, is that the person who makes the copyright claim is the one who gets to decide if it's truthful or not. So right now, I have pushed back on them and said, no, it's not yours. But the problem is this, is if you push back and YouTube sides with them, you can lose your channel. Okay? So I don't know what's happening with that, but that's what's weird about it is this, okay? On the Big Family Homestead channel, I have played that same music on a live stream last night. And they came and made a claim on the Big Family Homestead channel. So now it's getting really serious because that's a part of our income, you know? And so now it's like, what do I do? Do I just not play that song? Or do I, cut it out? Or do I give them the royalties? Do you just roll over and say, take the royalties because you're afraid of losing your channel? They're Haman's. Yeah. They're stealing. That's what it is. They're stealing. They do it to thousands and thousands of channels. It's happened to us before, but not often. So what I did with the Big Family Homestead thing is you actually have an option where YouTube will go in and cut out a piece of the audio and just throw it away. That way you keep your own royalties and they go pound sand. But with this channel, I was so irritated. I just said, heck no. You're not taking the massive 50 cents I would have gotten, because we don't make a lot of money on this, right? That's just how it is. But it was about the principle. And so I'm hoping they're going to see that it's not worth their effort to come fight me for 50 cents. We'll see. I don't know. If one day we're not here, I'll go over to the Big Family Homestead channel and I'll let you know what's going on. Matter of fact, I might actually make a video on just this thing today, because people need to know it's not a fair thing. YouTube should really have a different way of mediating, but they don't. So, all right, that said, God's going to work it out, and I'm not afraid. It's just if poof, we're gone, we'll set up another channel and keep on going, so don't worry. All right? No fear. Let's pray and get on with our Monday. Here we go. Father God, thank you so very much for how you love us and how you prepare the perfect scenario for our lives, just like Mordecai and Esther, even when things seem dark and we don't know it. Thank you that you do care for us even when we've forgotten about things that we did long ago, and we did them just because we did them to honor you. Thank you that you have that perfect scenario planned for our lives. Help us to love others more and more and more, and help us to be more like you today. We love you, Jesus. Thank you so much. All righty, guys. Have an awesome and blessed day. Good suggestion, Daniel. I'll think about that. Appreciate it. Have an awesome day, guys. Bye.
cry, oh God. Listen to my prayer. From the end of the earth I call to you when my heart is faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I, for you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the enemy. May he be enthroned, forever before God. Appoint steadfast love and faithfulness to watch over him, so I will ever sing praises to your name as I perform my vows day after day. Prolong the life of the King. May his years endure to all generations. Hear my cry, oh God. Listen to my prayer. From the end of the earth I call to you when my heart is faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I, for you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the enemy. So will I ever sing praises to your name as I perform my vows day after day. Hear my cry, oh God. Listen to my prayer. From the end of the earth I call to you when my heart is faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I, for you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the enemy. Hear my cry, oh God. Listen to my prayer. From the end of the earth I call to you when my heart is faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I, for you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the enemy. Hear my cry, oh God. Listen to my prayer. From the end of the earth I call to you when my heart is faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I, for you have been my refuge, a strong